We also encourage you to discern how you may live deeply into what we are calling holy agility. And when you're able to head back to church, if you want to walk through the halls saying, "Holy agility, Batman," that is okay with us. We even encourage it. We've been doing it ourselves. While we do not know exactly what the fall will look like, we do know we will need to prepare for it, which will require creativity and agility. The words of Dwight D. Eisenhower were recently brought to my attention, and they are here. Plans are useless, but planning is indispensable. I'm not sure I'm entirely on with him about how useless plans are, but I do love his sentiment of about how important it is to always be in a planning process. And that's more or less where we're headed with our Holy Agility resources. In our webinar on May 20th, we discussed this in this two-part plan. The recording as well as the resources are on our website. In short, though, we suggest first that you practice holy agility within your congregation's leadership. The second is that you prepare to be agile with your annual giving work in the fall, which I believe is on the minds and hearts of all of us. For your leadership, we have created a document available on our website that gives you 3 paths to checking in with your leaders. These holy inquiry questions and reflections offer a consistent way to take the pulse of your congregation. If you curate your responses, they will also function as a narrative metric for how and where the Holy Spirit is working in your congregation. Second is to prepare to be agile with your fall annual giving. To do this, we suggest you create a flexible schedule around June 30th, have it available, so that you know the several different paths you could take as you move forward and engage with our evolving normal. Planning ahead always lowers everyone's anxiety, and one that is agile allows you to move in an assortment of directions while still moving forward. Consider these thoughts as you pull together ideas for the fall. A shorter campaign. You will see this reflected in our calendar shortly. Continue to be mindful of your congregation's tolerance for an ambitious annual giving campaign. Do they have finance fatigue? Do you sense high anxiety in your congregational system? Or do you sense that folks can't wait to get back into it and know how they can be helpful to support and sustain your church? Consider, another point, is to consider in-gathering before the election. With COVID, our economy, conversations on race and equality, and what I imagine will be a dynamic and textured election season, leave room for yourself, your leaders, your clergy to have plenty of time for pastoral care. Think about what sort of time after the election you might need for a communal big breath, and whether this is also the time you want to still be engaged with a robust annual giving campaign. Another thought is to continue the conversation of being one together through November and December. Do this with storytelling, with sharing moments of gratitude, with thank yous, and with well checks. Keep the phone calls going. These steps will help people continue to reintegrate into the fall's evolving normal, and it will help keep open the option to bookend your annual campaign in January, should you need to have a push at the beginning of 2021 to wrap up your annual giving. If you do, this final wrap up should be crafted to be joyful rather than a panicked moment of, oh no, we didn't quite make it. What do we do now? So plan for what could likely happen. Planning for what could likely happen is essential. Also, from now until the conclusion of your annual giving campaign, communicate to your other ministry leaders ahead of the meetings. You can start this now. So for instance, instead of using your vestry meeting time to talk through ideas, could you send the ideas ahead of time to your vestry and other leaders, perhaps through a vestry consent agenda, through videos, through some of the little minutes with Stephanie and me? You can create your own video as we're all getting more and more accustomed to this digital world. So you can use your vestry meeting time for actual conversation and diving deeply rather than to introduce materials they could see ahead of time.